Health experts say they are not too concerned about the stop to global trials of a leading COVID-19 vaccine. British drug maker AstraZeneca and Oxford University have paused the trials after a volunteer fell ill. They described the halt as a routine action and are investigating whether the adverse reaction is actually a side effect.
Halting late-stage trials of a leading COVID-19 vaccine may sound alarming, but those working behind the scenes say it's very much routine. AstraZeneca says the adverse reaction was only recorded in a single participant globally, and such delays are common during vaccine development.
Well, obviously, I'd rather this went completely smoothly. However, we're absolutely clear that safety comes first with the vaccine. So there's been a pause while they investigate an incident.
The reason we are hearing about it is because clearly there's a lot of scrutiny over the COVID vaccine, and clearly the researchers at Oxford and the company itself are keen on being as open and transparent as possible.
9 leading US and European vaccine developers, including Moderna and Pfizer, have pledged to uphold scientific safety standards as they work on vaccines for the coronavirus. The promise comes amid concerns that safety standards may slip in the face of political pressure to rush out a vaccine.
Ollie Barrett joins us live from London right now. Ollie, do we have any indication what happened to this volunteer who fell sick?
We have a little bit of detail. It was a spinal inflammation of some sort that led to the pausing of this trial. Clearly, the aim now is to establish whether it had anything to do with the vaccine that this patient, had been taking in the trial or had been given in the trial, or whether it was completely unrelated. AstraZeneca describing the pause as routine, and it's also been pointed out that it's not the first pause in this particular trial. Earlier in the British summer, this trial was also paused as a reaction of some sort to something in a patient was investigated. That was deemed to be no great concern, and therefore the trial was resumed. But clearly AstraZeneca, Oxford University, the British government, which is backing this trial, all at pains to make sure that the world is well aware that the proper safety protocols are being followed throughout.
Ollie, as routine as these vaccine developers are painting this stoppage to these trials, they're going to want to expedite this review because it's going to set them back in terms of the trial timeline. So how big of a setback is it?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, every day counts at the moment. I think that the scientists at AstraZeneca and the UK government too are hoping that this, if it can be put behind the trial, is a delay that can potentially be resumed within only a few days, if it can be established that this reaction, whatever it was from this individual patient, was not to do with the vaccine and was to do with something else entirely. That could mean a very brief pause in this trial. And going back to that idea of the drug company, Oxford University, the British government wanting to make sure that the world knows that the proper safety protocols are being followed, I think UK officials would also point to the differences, therefore, in this trial and what is being done now to make sure that safety is absolutely paramount, would put it in contrast, for example, with the much touted vaccine that Russia says it's bringing online, the Sputnik vaccine. That was started in terms of rollout in Russia before it moved into the phase 3 trial in which the Oxford University vaccine is now and in which it is being paused. So, as I say, UK officials certainly still hopeful, still optimistic that this particular vaccine can come to fruition. Indeed, in recent days, Health Secretary Matt Hancock and other government officials had been talking in pretty optimistic terms about when it might be ready.
We all want that vaccine, but we want it to be safe and effective, don't we, Ollie? So thank you very much for that update. Ollie Barrett there reporting for us from London.